I open a Red Bull. I don't know about you, but I'm tired.
Yeah, a little tired.
This is my Friday Red Bull. I'm going to drink it now. And you know what? If I
Okay.
end up having 2 Red Bulls this week and I go out tomorrow and I get another one, so be it.
So be it.
Garrett's Twitter was lovely last week. I'm glad you liked seeing it. I used to be weird about posting vacations because I remember when I couldn't take them. And now I'm just like, I don't know. Feeling thankful. I'm never going to use #blessed, but I was feeling thankful and I just wanted to share. So thank you, everybody.
There's nothing wrong with feeling #blessed. I mean, Bruno Mars said it, so I think we're all good.
Well, here's the thing. I am not as cool as Bruno Mars.
But maybe.
I feel like you can use horrendously overused Twitter lingo.
My favorite, my son's favorite song in the world right now is Uptown Funk.
Your son's favorite song is Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The song that if you need to get like soccer moms to dance at a wedding, that's what you put on.
Well, see, so it's on Spotify and it has a speaker as the image, the album art. And at the time, he was obsessed with trucks, which he still loves trucks. He still really likes trucks, and trucks have wheels. So he calls it the wee, and he does this with his arm because we do the wheels on the bus, and this is the wiper. So he goes wee, and like, you want to listen to Uptown Funk? He goes wee, and then we put on Uptown Funk.
That is
and then we run, a lot, and then we fall, and then he goes up, and we get back up, and baby coach, toddler coach. I'm exhausted.
Was it you were telling me about over the weekend that he was just determined to do like piggyback rides, and you did it. You did the whole damn time.
Oh, yes.
And you're just like, that's it. I'm exhausted, but I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. He wants to go out a lot. So we went to the zoo and it was awesome. Fully outdoor zoo here in Portland. It was a great time. But he wanted to be carried for a while. He doesn't want the stroller. He wants to be carried. So up, down. I'm doing great. We did till about 7:30. He was right on my shoulders. We were dancing Uptown Funk. He also really likes anything with like a heavy beat. So Uptown Funk flows into Gundam Style.
I haven't thought about that song in a while.
He loves that song, and then that goes into Cotton Eye Joe, which he's not really a fan of, but then it does. I can actually pull up the playlist here because it's a song you probably haven't thought about in a very long time. Better Off Alone by Alice DJ.
I don't know what that song is.
You probably know the burp, 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 burp.
Oh, okay. If you had just gotten to the main melody, yeah, I would have gotten it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think you're better off alone? Then Timber featuring Kesha, the Pitbull.
Okay.
And,
okay. I can F with a little Pitbull Kesha crossover.
The Shakira song, This Time for Africa.
I don't know if I know that one.
This time for Africa. Yeah, I didn't really know it well, but it was recommended. And for some reason she goes Waka Waka.
Yeah, I never liked any of that like kind of top 40 pop dance music stuff. And then I don't know, something about hitting your mid-30s. Now I'm kind of digging it. I think I realized that like 50% of it is on a Fast and the Furious soundtrack of some sort.
Yeah.
And I like unabashedly love those movies. Like the cheese factor of it, to me, it's just watching a fast film is like a warm, comfortable blanket.
Mm-hmm.
It just wrap me in the cheese. Let me just turn my brain off and enjoy fast cars and an overage of sleeveless shirts. I used to make fun of Pitbull a lot. And then I realized like half of the songs on new Fast movies are Pitbull songs.
He's having a good time, and he doesn't seem to. I've only mainly listened to Timber at this point, but he's not like DJ Khaled who makes it really known it's Pitbull. I kind of like it, He's proud but not too proud.
The other thing too is I can actually recognize his voice, which for better or worse, whatever. Like whatever. I'm Pitbull. You're not listening, but I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god! I bet my son would love Who Lets the Dogs Out. I should probably add this, but I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's what is that? By the way, I am recording. We could just keep going.
Oh, okay. This is we're in it right now.
What is the? Is there a
line I will not cross?
No. Is there an inner battle all the time of my son will love this song, but my son will love this song?
Yes. So he really loves fire trucks and he likes dogs, and we're not going anywhere near Paw Patrol. Like he sees like a backpack, a snack at the grocery store, and he's like, that could be interesting. And I'm like, nope, I don't know what that is. I've never seen it.
Don't know what that
it's
is.
on everything. They're on toothpaste. Like I had to choose between Little Vampire, which I guess is like a little girl vampire, which I don't know if she eats blood or what's going on at Disney that they have little vampires, but I had to choose between Little Vampire toothpaste or Paw Patrol toothpaste, and I picked the Little Vampire. We're not going anywhere near Paw Patrol. I don't trust them.
Have you seen it and you're just annoyed by it and don't want it on in the house all day, or?
It's more that the franchise has broken out among its means. Like there are T-shirts, there are toys, it's in cereal, there's types of cereal for it. It's just too widespread to trust it. And I know I'm the guy who I grew up on the edge of He-Man. I grew up in the age of Ninja Turtles and the real Ghostbusters, and I owned all these toys.
Yeah.
So, we did Baby Shark. We did the Baby Shark thing. And now when he sees Baby Shark toys in the wild, he's like, oh my God, it's Baby Shark.
We almost sent you a massive Baby Shark pillow plush thing that when you hugged it, it sang the song.
Thank you for not.
I couldn't it was very cute. Okay. Like as not a parent, I look at the Baby Shark designs and go, damn, that's a really cute design. And that they translate to plushes very well. They are cute. We have a lot of plushes at this house. I don't know if anyone knew this. Katie loves plushes, and we have a lot of them. So I've seen a lot of plushes, and damn if the Baby Shark plushes aren't wonderful.
It's cute, and it's a fun song. It's a little... My biggest problem with Baby Shark, honestly, is my own lung capacity, because it's augmented. It's digital, trickery to make them sing faster and higher, and I can hardly keep up. Like, I know there's a great album artist group called Super Simple Songs, and they sing just kind of acoustic guitar style Baby Shark, and it's doable and you can keep up, and it cuts like some of the weird parts, like they're hungry for fish and there's like a little storyline. It doesn't just go, and then it's always like pink thong, subscribe, like and subscribe in the song, and you're like, stop, we're not on YouTube, why would you do this? But the real spawn of hell is Coco Melon.
Oh, I'm all right. I have no idea what this is. Coco Melon?
Coco Melon.
Melon.
They own like 20 different YouTubes of different names, and they all show these creepy videos. And in particular, their songs tend to feature such things as no, we don't want to, no, we don't want to, or are we there yet? Not yet. Are we there yet? And that's like their kids' song. It's teaching kids horrible practices to drive us insane.
It's teaching kids to annoy you.
Yeah. What a horrible thing. I get, I remember saying, are we there yet? And being excited in the back of the car, but that ain't right. That's not the message I want to send.
Oh my
Head,
word.
shoulders, knees, and toes. That's a good message.
I'm looking at this right now. Yeah, this is the most phoned in animation style for Coco Melon.
Yeah,
I would. Yeah. You're the older sibling?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the age difference between you and your sister?
3 years. So I don't remember much.
Okay.
Kristen's got 9 years on her youngest, and that's a family of 4 kids.
Yeah, I got 5 or 6 on my brother. I can never remember exactly how much, but I was in kindergarten when he was born. So I was just starting to not watch what is it, Nick Jr.?
Yeah.
I was just starting to not watch that kind of stuff anymore. Like Nick Jr. was annoying and all that stuff. It's because I was about to ask you with what was it that your little sister watched that you couldn't stand? Because for me, what?
Barney.
Oh, she was a Barney. Okay. She was in Barney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barney was on at the same time as the real Ghostbusters. Oh, Extreme Ghostbusters.
What was the difference?
So the real Ghostbusters were the original cast characters, but there was a older cartoon called The Ghostbusters, so they had to call it the real Ghostbusters. And the Ghostbusters has nothing to do with Ghostbusters, the franchise. This one is extreme. So you had all the young kids. You had it was. You know,
oh my God, I have never seen this. Yeah, I'm looking at images right now. I would have been very into this. I've never seen this, and I watched the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the best part was, I mean, the real Ghostbusters. Like, I had a huge trip. I went back and I watched recently the Cthulhu episode, and I'm like, oh my God, is this the birth of all my D&D stuff? Like, Ray is sitting there talking about they call it Cthulhu throughout the episode, which may be a proper pronunciation, but like there's a lot of like legends in that show. And I love, as I mentioned before, ancient aliens and all these sort of stories that have something real and then fart off forever. Like that's the best thing about ancient aliens is you'll learn about this ruin you've never ever heard of. And then they'll just make up crap for like 45 minutes about it. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go on my phone now. I learned about and then you read about the real, Stonehenge or equivalent there, the moon well. Like there's real moon wells in the world made by druids. That's awesome. I don't think they summoned aliens from space, but that's a great feature. Anyway, the real, the extreme Ghostbusters, the master, the sort of Splinter type was Egon because he was the last Ghostbuster around still. I love Egon the best. He was the best one.
Yeah. I always liked Ray, but I've always just been wait, that was Dan Aykroyd, right? Who was Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, Ray.
That's right. Yeah. I'm like growing up, just always like Dan Aykroyd, even though I struggle to think of what else I would have watched with Dan Aykroyd in it that would have been age appropriate.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd is a lot like liking Harrison Ford growing up. And you're like, I love Harrison Ford. And your parents like, oh, really? Would you like to see Blade Runner? And you're like, what am I watching? And then there's that like romantic comedy he's in. That's
really 6 Days, 7 Nights.
Is that a romantic comedy?
I mean, it's kind of a romantic comedy adventure.
I'm trying to think of
because it's him and Meg Ryan, right?
Oh, maybe. Oh yeah,
No,
you're right. I don't think that's
sorry.
a romantic comedy. Sabrina is the one.
Sabrina?
Yeah, it's a real tonal shift from what you expect a Harrison Ford movie when you came from Indiana Jones and Star Wars.
Julia Ormond. Oh, I remember seeing this poster all the damn time at Blockbuster and being like, oh, hey, Indiana Jones. And he's in a tux, so I'm like, the Temple of Doom.
However, I do like the Jack Ryan movies. I do think Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games are really fun movies. Witness is a really strange movie. And The Fugitive is fun, but also strange.
I watched The Fugitive a ton because my dad loved it. My dad and I do not agree on a lot of movies. You can listen to my dad and I talk about not agreeing on movies because I posted my podcast class assignment, which I took a podcast class, everybody. Remind me to tell you what annoyed me about my brother, but I'm on a tangent now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I did interrupt you. Go for it.
So since we're this is the podcast now, we're just gonna sit here and stream of consciousness, hang out, talk and catch up. Yeah, I in case you're not aware, I'm getting a master's right now. I'm a Gator. I'm going to UF, Kyle. You're FSU. We're supposed to fight. Yeah, we're supposed to fight. You damn.
How could you and FSU. your power drinks that help you cheat?
Help you cheat? You could just have Gatorade too. There's nothing stopping you just because it was invented at UF. Anyway,
we had a horse that rode on the field and threw a flaming spear. I don't know if it's still flaming or not, though. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting a master's in digital strategy, and I have to. I'm already at like a whole year in, and I kind of forgot to take any electives. So I'm like looking at my requirements, and I'm like, I just need to start knocking out electives. And so, I was late to registering for the summer semester, and there were like two options. There was a statistics class, or there was a podcasting class.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, do I want to struggle with math, or do I want to be bored out of my mind in a podcast class?
I understand your choice.
Yes, and the other class I'm taking this semester is UX Theory, which I was really excited for. And I don't even care if my teacher somehow sees this. That class sucks.
Oh.
It is so hard. It is so book heavy. It's so reading heavy. None of it's practical. We haven't done one practical damn thing. We just sit there and pontificate on what makes a good user experience. I hate every moment about it. Everything about this class. It is pulling teeth. And so I'm very, very glad that I took the podcast class, because while it is a little bit of a retread for me, at least it's not excruciatingly difficult. And so I had to.
You interviewed your dad?
I had to make a podcast. Yeah. And so, I haven't really talked about this with anyone. I went into the class thinking, worst case scenario, it's a good excuse to go make something I would never make. Like, maybe I can get weird. Maybe I can get back to my R2-T2, make some solo shit. I've been wanting to, haven't had time. If I got to make it for a grade, then cool. I'm forced to make it. I'm going to make some solo shit. I get in and immediately start reading the rubric, and it's like, you will be required to make 2 podcasts for this class, and they have to be interviews because we want you to learn how to interview. And I'm like, God damn it, I've been interviewing since 2010.
Yeah.
I know how to interview. I need to work on me. So, so I was thinking of I had to pitch things, and I was like, all right, I got this idea. I got that idea. I had a few. And anyway, one of the ideas I had was, force my dad to watch genre, because my dad is just a 24/7 History Channel / news watcher. That's all he watches.
See, he enjoys the Ancient Aliens then.
No, he would turn that shit off.
I guess
he
it is
likes
in the evening.
He likes nonfiction, hard history, the news. He doesn't like fiction, and it's something that's always perplexed me about my dad. Growing up, I am a raging genre nerd. I am not what I would consider cultured. I like schlock. I like genre. I like pulpy things. And it always, that was always strange to me. I was like, is it just generational? Did your fiction just suck? What is it? What's the problem here? And so that was my pitch. And so that's the one I ended up going with. I was like, hey, Dad, I got a weird question. Pitched to him. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I think it ended up being really good. So both episodes are on the R2-T2 feed right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I necroed that feed. And
so wait, was there a Harrison Ford connection?
Yeah, my dad loves Harrison Ford.
Oh, okay, cool.
So the point was, my dad is very picky about movie. Let's put it this way. He and I don't like a lot of the same movies, but Harrison Ford joints were a shared love, except Star Wars. He doesn't like Star Wars, but he loves Indiana Jones.
Okay.
He showed me Raiders way too young.
Mm-hmm. That happens.
Yeah. But yeah, he loves The Fugitive, because he also likes Tommy Lee Jones. So we watched that movie a lot.
Oh, you know what was the real mistake? Apocalypse Now. That was one that they're like, you love Harrison Ford? You should watch Apocalypse Now. Fun movie, that. Let me tell you. Good times had all around.
The one that I didn't like. Oh, what was it? No, that's not it. What is it? What's the one? Is it What Lies Beneath? What's the one? It's like right. A haunted lake. That's a Harrison Ford thing, right?
Yes. With Michelle
Pfeiffer?
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, What Lies Beneath. It is What Lies Beneath. I typed in What Lies Beneath and I couldn't find it. This was 2000? This couldn't be 2000. This is 2000? This is blowing my mind. I thought this was 92. I remember.
What did lie beneath?
It's like a ghost story. I honestly remember nothing about this movie, but I remember renting it from Blockbuster with Dad, because we're like, oh, Harrison Ford, Michelle Pfeiffer, we like them. And it just being not at all what I wanted out of a movie. I don't know what I was expecting. I'm a kid, okay? My options were limited. In 2000, I would have been 12, 11. Yeah. 13? I'm bad with math.
They're not really giving it away in the trailer here, but yeah, it definitely seems ghosty.
Yeah, that was the Harrison Ford movie where I was just like, I don't know, but yeah.
Air Force One, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, watch that one a ton with Dad growing up.
I remember seeing Firewall and being like, nobody's having fun here.
I don't think I ever saw Firewall.
But
that was
remember
06.
it, a bunch of hackers break into his house.
We would have been freshmen in college, man. I was busy.
A Hollywood Homicide, I remember enjoying.
Never saw that one.
Because I enjoyed Mick Hansen in that.
Mick Hansen?
Josh Hartnett.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
whatever happened to Josh Hartnett?
I don't know. Let's find out. But if all I find out, you can tell me about your brother.
Oh, yeah. So when I was growing up, or when I was a kid and my brother was very little, the show that he would watch all the time that drove me absolutely out of my mind was, I believe it was Nick Jr., an animated show called Little Bear. Have you ever seen this show, Kyle?
No, I have no relationship with Little Bear.
I hated this show so much.
Oh, it looks kind of like an Arthur joint. So he sort of casually goes around probably learning lessons about friendship.
Yes. It's the pits.
It's not terribly animated. He's naked.
It is.
His parents are clothed.
It does have a very charming art style. I will give it that.
Yeah.
I believe it's based off an old series of books.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's well made. It's just exactly what you think it is. Repetitive, aimed at a young audience. Yeah. Now as an adult, I go, oh, no wonder I hated it. I wasn't the intended audience, and my brother was just watching it on repeat.
Right. And as a kid, you don't really mind that the characters don't learn anything. But nowadays, definitely if someone recommends an anime and it's a little too episodic in that we keep making the same mistakes over and over again, I'm out. I can't. You got to at least learn something. Aang, Avatar: Last Airbender, early episodes, not learning a lot, but he's still a kid, and he certainly grows over the course of that.
Oh God, yeah, Avatar. Okay, quite literally one of the best shows ever made. So I would maybe not compare everything you watch to The Last Airbender, but
I don't know any of this. This Josh Hartnett biz. He's been busy, but it's not things I've heard of.
I guess I could have clicked on him in IMDb as well. Oh, 30 Days a Night. I think that was the last thing I saw him in.
Was he the Seven guy? Seven was awesome.
He was not in Seven. No,
okay, what?
That's Brad Pitt.
No, I'm thinking of Lucky Number 11.
He was in Lucky Number 11.
Yeah, Lucky Number 11's awesome.
I have not seen Lucky Number 11.
You should watch Lucky Number 11.
Isn't that very similar to what was the assassin movie in Las Vegas?
Whoa. Well, it's definitely that type. By the way, I'm operating on Lucky Number 11 knowledge from 2006 because I saw it after release. So these may not be accurate descriptions of the current movie, but I remember enjoying it.
No, not Snake Eyes. It was a mid-2000s joint. Oh, I can't think of it. Ryan Reynolds is in it. I watched the crap out of it.
Like a heist movie?
It was more of like an assassination movie. They were going to assassinate a guy in a Las Vegas penthouse, and there were like a butt ton of assassins, and it just goes wildly off the rails. Has really good action. It's pretty shallow film-wise. As soon as I see it, I'm going back through Ryan Reynolds' history. Smoking Aces was the movie I was thinking about, and it came out the same year as Lucky Number 11. And it's like a Deep Impact Armageddon thing because they were like very like similar like gun fu over the top action movies with a lot of A-list / B-list celebrities.
Okay.
If you haven't seen Smoking Aces, you should watch it just because the cast is wild. It is all over the place. Ryan Reynolds, actually, it's probably one of the movies he plays the most straight. Like, he's still cracking wise a little bit, but he's like kind of like a hardcore like detective or FBI agent who's trying to get this guy out safely while all these assassins are descending to murder this dude. I haven't watched it in probably 8 years, so maybe it doesn't hold up anymore, but I don't know. Isn't Alicia Keys in this movie?
Like, I don't want to watch Timeline again. There's some movies that are best left in your mind. I'm not talking about like kid stuff. Like Timeline, that's probably not good. That's probably not a great movie, but I enjoyed it at the time. Timeline.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's right. This was before. Oh, what? Who's new Kirk? Chris Pine. This was right before Chris Pine blew up, and he plays one of 3 neo-Nazi assassins. He's like barely a character, and you're just like, wait, is that Chris Pine, the dude who like became one of the most famous dudes on Earth just a few years later?
Dude, movies were crazy in the early 2000s. Paycheck was during that time. This movie was outrageous. Another movie that you shouldn't watch, but lives in my memory as a decent, enjoyable film, which is totally wrong.
Never saw that. Never saw that.
It's Ben Affleck wakes up with no memory, and he has a pocket full of things that his future self left him.
I'm like going through now. I'm just looking at like early 2000s movies. Wow, American Psycho was 2000. I thought that was a 90s movie. I guess it's close enough. If a movie came out in 2000, it's still a 90s movie, as far as I'm concerned. We hadn't moved on from the aesthetics of the 90s yet.
Exactly. The hair and everything else. The actors certainly were still very big. But here we are. We're going to talk about video games too. What have you been playing?
Quite a bit. I've been kind of going all over the place, man. I got, as I think we talked about at one point, I got really hard into the Mass Effect remake. I have bounced off, mostly because Katie got really bored of watching Mass Effect every night.
Sure.
We got all the way through the first game and then got pretty deep into the second. And she was like, can we can we watch something? And I was like, fair. Fair. So I was playing that. Then I got weirdly into Need for Speed Heat.
That's older, yes?
It's the most recent Need for Speed, but they haven't made a new one in 2 years.
Okay.
I think it's been 2 years. What year was this? I'm Googling it right now. I'm doing this. This is all off the cuff.
Like 2019.
Off the cuff. Yep, 2019. There has not been a Need for Speed since. It's good.
Do I get to enjoy the underground aspect and run from cops?
This is the most underground game since Underground, in my opinion.
Okay, cool.
And to me, Need for Speed Underground 2 might be the greatest racing game, in, or at least arcade racer in history, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
oh,
so
this looks, yeah.
For me to say that this is very undergroundy is high praise. The one thing that bothers me is the police chases are hard as balls in the beginning of this game. They're so hard. You will get busted. You will lose all your money if you're not careful. They can be cheesed, though, if you learn how to cheese them. But it's also the kind of thing where if you just eventually upgrade your car enough, they don't scale. So if you have a really fast enough car and you just get on a straight, they really just can't really do anything.
That's fine. I should outpace them like an RPG, you know? That's the joy of it.
Yeah, and I will say, for me anyway, it takes a while to upgrade a car fast enough because there's an RPG aspect where you have to level up like your rep before you can buy better parts. And so
sure.
For me, I have quite a few hours in this game and I still don't have a car that can hit 200 miles an hour easily.
Is that fast?
That's the speed with which cops just can't catch you.
Oh, I get you.
If you can hit 200 for an extended period of time, so if you get on one of the longest straights on the map, because it's a big open world like Underground 2. Yeah, you can just. Well, I have since learned some other tricks. I found some jumps in some places where the cops get super confused. But yeah, it's a really fun game. It's gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous.
I know we're going to talk about Pokemon Unite, and Need for Speed Heat's like UI and whole aesthetic is the exact opposite of Pokemon Unite. And by that, I mean, it is not the ugliest thing I have ever laid eyes upon.
Do I get to make my character? Can I do like full custom?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can make a character because your character is in cutscenes. It's in engine cutscenes, and you get to see your character. You can choose your gender. You don't have a lot of customization over like kind of what your face looks like, but there's so many ridiculous clothes you can buy.
Yes, that's what I want. I want to feel like an anime character. I want to dress outrageously, like a rock star. Which brings me to this trailer looks like what I wanted Cyberpunk to be. Because without cops chasing me, there's no reason I want a car in a video game.
Cops don't chase you in Cyberpunk?
They spawn randomly, and they are very, very easy to cheese. And there is almost no car mechanics, and there's no way to escalate the cops.
Oh, that's disappointing. Yeah.
So they spawn around corners out of view, and they'll continue to come, but you won't ever like advance to tanks or helicopters or kind of push the cops down the line.
This does all of that. It'll start. There's a star system, much like GTA.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I think it goes up to a max of 4. If you hit 3 stars, so I think 1 star is like A or 2 police are chasing you. 2 stars, they'll call in reinforcements, so you could have even more. 3, they send out the police in Corvettes, which are like boss cars. There's like health mechanic for your car. They hit a lot harder. They take a bigger chunk of your health if you get hit by them, and they're a lot harder to wreck. I think helicopters also come out at 3. And then at 4, they send out straight up like the riot SWAT tank. And if you get hit by it head on, it's you are caught. That's just wrecks your car. So yeah, there's some really good systems in it. I do think the cops are kind of cheesy early on. But whatever the case is, Need for Speed Heat, damn good game. I'm surprised it didn't get more like love when it came out, but I've been really enjoying it. It's free with the EA Pass, I know that, but I think I got it for like $10 on sale on a Sony PlayStation sale.
Okay, it's on Steam. It's kind of bundled weird. It wants me to buy the deluxe edition for $70, but they're definitely average.
Don't pay 70. Yeah. Don't pay 70 for this game. It's not that good. If you can get it, I'd say 30 or under. I've definitely got more than $30 of enjoyment out of this game. It's free on Game Pass, says Shimon.
Yeah. Oh, Game Pass. Okay.
I didn't know that. I just re-upped on Game Pass, but I didn't even bother looking for this because I already bought it on my PlayStation. But I'm assuming you've been playing Pokemon Unite. I don't know if anyone knows this. You have a new podcast, and it's doing quite damn well.
It is. I'm very excited about that. I do a Pokemon Unite show called Aos Clubhouse. Aos being the island that the stadium takes place in, kind of the world that we've gone to.
Thank you for explaining that. I actually had no idea what the hell your show name meant.
Yeah, when you enter it in, you get Aerosmith. So, but luckily you put a space and the search optimization works pretty well. But I'm doing that with Mockery and Kaiberry. So here's the Storm content producers. And we're having a grand time going through that. It is a free-to-play or free-to-start game, as they called it in their press releases, for the Nintendo Switch. And it comes out on mobile in September.
Yeah, I've been playing it as well. I've got here, right, for the stream. I can lean in and show and tell. I got my friggin' Switch set up in my office now. Because I was like, I want to play this, and I was trying to. Why Among Us? Why the hell? Oh, it's an ad.
Yeah, they're advertising Among Us. I'm sure it's very popular on the Switch.
Yeah, but dude. So I haven't used my Switch in like a year, and it hasn't been a year because I played a ton of Animal Crossing, but it's been months, and it was just dead as a doornail. It was stuck in this weird state where it didn't have enough juice to turn itself off. It was in permanent sleep with not enough battery power to where I could actually shut it down so that it could get a charge. It was in limbo. It wasn't charging.
Oh, wow.
It was a total pain in the ass.
Did you have to like open it and pop out the battery?
No, the trick is you have to take the Joy-Cons off because they're a draw as well. You take the Joy-Cons off and you don't use the dock. You actually just plug directly in the cable, and that'll let you reset the unit, and then you just let it charge with the cable. I waited till it was about 50% before I put the Joy-Cons back on.
A number of questions I've got is it worth getting a Switch for? And I can say that's not why I got a Switch. Like, there's other reasons too. But I'm crazy about MOBAs. I love MOBAs so much. Seeing this come down the pipeline, I messaged Kaiberry's Mockery because they were getting excited about it. I'm an old Gen 1 Pokemon fan, so I was getting, a little excited, but just I love MOBAs so much. And the idea of playing one away from the computer, like reclined, it was really, really tempting me. But, of course I could make the excuse in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, my son is, 22 months old. And at 3 years, they say they can basically get around a Mario Kart track. So why not? I might as well get one now.
Isn't it a great piece of hardware, the Switch?
It's impressive. It is. Visually, it's crack. I don't know what's going on there, but my son saw the box and he was just like, whoa. And I've got a little baby gate here in my office. Sometimes my door is open, my Switch is here on my desk, so I can stream Pokemon Unite. And he'll just be on that gate being like, what is that? What is it? I need to hold it. And he immediately runs in here and just pulls it right out of the dock, immediately holds it properly. Like he knows that this thing is capable of great things.
I'll need to make note of this for my UX, my user experience class, because clearly Nintendo has done a good job designing.
Yes.
There's some good signifiers with the design of the Switch, so you know where to put your hands and where to how to hold it.
Visually pleasing.
I can't wait to not be in this class anymore. I cannot wait.
But I'm tempted to buy Hades again for it. I played a little bit of Octopath Traveler. There's a demo on there, and I got kind of mad at it because I wanted to switch stories after the first hour. Because I picked the best story. I was playing as like this. There was this gal and it was trapped in this world looking for her father's killer, and it's awesome. But it's called Octopath Traveler, so it's about 8 characters. So I do the opener, and it's all like really gritty. I'm really enjoying it, and then it's like, enjoy the world, traveler, and find 7 other characters to join you on your quest. I don't need other people on this quest. This woman needs to kill her parents' killers. I gotta venture.
All right. So let's do Into the Nexus's Pokemon Unite review.
Okay.
Shall we? It's because I've been playing it as well. What was your first impression when you first got in? Because that's kind of where I'm at. I'm basically at my first impression. I've probably played 15, 20 games.
I played at midnight the night of release. So here on the Pacific Coast, came out, and at midnight 01, I was able to actually play it. And I played through the tutorial, and I played one game. And it worked. I was on Wi-Fi in the living room away from the router, and there was no lag. And I was just mad impressed that any game can come out functioning the minute it says it does.
Yeah, right? It's impressive.
Then I picked Charizard, and I haven't touched him since. Because I got super duper into the melees. Day one, I brought MOBA skills. I was running around. There might have been kids playing, people with no MOBA experience, Pokemon Go fans, and I'm just trashing them. I'm having a grand old time. They haven't already been established yet, so I'm just running amok with Heroes of the Storm Dota and old skills of that nature.
Yeah. So I think it's fun as hell. The gameplay is borderline great, I think. I think they have a really good game on their hands. I do want to take the piss out of it, though, for a second.
You gonna beat up those menus?
Those menus are the worst I have experienced in a very long time. It reminds me of, I was going to say launch iPhone. I did not have a launch iPhone. When we all started getting iPhones, if you're our age, probably around the iPhone 3GS. I had an iPhone 3GS. That was my first iPhone. Like the peak of like vomit crapware application video games on the App Store for early generation iPhones. That's what it reminds me of. It is the most like shamelessly money grubbing nightmare. And the menu looks like if Legos just vomited. It is so visually busy, distracting. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Totally. It is a treasure hunt. If you want to use some like corporate terminology from like the grocery store, or even something like Old Navy. Like the goal is the specials are all hidden around various places. They're constantly shifting and moving the BOGO items. So you don't know where the cardigans are anymore, and you don't know where the jacket is that's on sale, because they hope you become so confused that you purchase a nerd's rope on your way out.
Yes. Yeah. The menu system is I think inexcusably bad. It's real bad. Especially since it's the first game I can think of that I've seen a 10-cent logo at the beginning of a game, and I'm just like, "Ooh, this sets a precedent." But
of course,
neither here nor there. And then, as with all Nintendo products, adding a friend is needlessly obtuse, but whatever. That's not on the game. That is on Nintendo. Nintendo is so bad about that. As good as their hardware is, and as good as their games are made, is their understanding or their unwillingness to make a decent internet experience is as bad as everything else from Nintendo is good. But the game itself, man, it's good. It's good. I'm impressed.
Deep. It's surprisingly deep. Like when you get in with a controller, you've got this kind of radial auto attack, and your abilities are changing out a little bit, and you're upgrading abilities, choosing what ability you want to go on your 2 ability button. You get an ultimate eventually that builds as you attack and over time. And it's so easy to just see that and be like, oh, we're just going to spam these buttons, and that'll be the game over in 10 minutes. It has a 10-minute timer. But then you go look at the actual Pokemon abilities, and you start getting into like Alolan Ninetales is who I really grabbed onto. They're kind of the Jaina type, where you want to, over several attacks, frost your enemies, eventually leading to a stun as they're frozen. While they're frozen, they take bonus damage from certain spells. Then you start learning about certain spells have augments on them, or like Gengar, who I've been really enjoying right now. If they're suffering from your dot attack, you get massive cooldown on your other attack. Like Heroes of the Storm or any MOBA of a modern nature, these are actually really deep heroes with lots of strategy to them. Even for a 10-minute game, there's a lot of text. There's a passive, an auto attack usually tied in based on maybe a third or fourth auto attack with a special, and the abilities combined together. I'm even finding myself like in the draft screen being like, oh, I need to change my Ninetales build because I'm more of an assassin, less of a CC support here. And the newest one came out yesterday, Gardevoir. She has a really cool passive that whenever someone applies a movement speed based debuff to you or a damage over time effect, you apply it to them back. And that's your passive. I haven't seen anything like that before.
Yeah, there's a lot of like that. Like as I was going through, because one of the things that I understand the limitations and why this is difficult, but also really annoyed me, was that in the game itself, I couldn't find any way to see what my abilities did.
Yes, you got to look that up outside.
Yeah,
10-minute game though.
Yeah, but once I did figure that out, and you're right, it is in the game. Once I started going through and reading things, I was just like, hey, that's Kerrigan. Oh, hey, that's so-and-so. Like, there's movesets that just make all the sense. Like, it's just like, it's just like a one-to-one with shit I played in HotS or Dota or League of Legends. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that's like super unique that I haven't experienced in other MOBAs. And you would think, how do you feel about the 2 ability situation? Because at first I was like, oh, that's limiting. But then you realize that as your Pokemon levels up, you eventually you replace your 2 starter abilities. The only thing that doesn't change is your ultimate ability. And I just think that's so unique and different and adds a hell of a layer of complexity and flexibility to the game.
And you often take those abilities in tandem with each other, or for certain reasons based on the map, like this Gengar combination I'm talking about. You basically do a sort of shadow jump onto them if they're under a dot effect. However, you could trade out that Gengar, maybe after balancing, to something that's more just one burst, because you don't have the health or, comp that will allow you to go in there for an extended period of time. Currently, there's only like one healer type. There's only one mega tank type. Like, much like a new release, they have to catch up a little bit if you're going to be making actual comps. But right now, they've shown possibly a Pokemon a week. However, you are absolutely right about those menus. Those menus are to keep you in the game. They are so when you finish a game, you have to go check your battle pass. Then you check your energy screen to see if you can get a loot box kind of thing. And then you go check your daily quests. And then you go check your trainer level. And then you might even check like your standing based on like if you participate or not for a reward there. It's very much to get you to look at every single corner of the menus and keep you in that game for as long as possible. But the real trickery, and I love this, I think this is genius. It's evil, It's mustache twirly, but I love it so much, Garrett. If you lose about 3 games in a row, there's no real way to predict this. But if you lose multiple games in the world, the enemy team will be comprised of bots. Bots with real people's names who run away always at 30% health, who will surrender if you're too far ahead, right at the 5-minute mark. And those bots mean that everybody who plays the game basically has a 50% win rate. Even the lowest of the low bronze, there is no bronze hell because you will always at least have a bot game every 3 games to keep you stable.
I wonder if the murder wins I've had were against bots.
Could be. Could be. But in that way, the evil part of it, of course, that they want to keep you in the game. And if for some reason you play 3 games and then you're like, I'm going to leave this a bad review, I'm pissed, I've had an awful time, but that 3rd game's a mega stomp and you feel great about yourself, you might log in for another game. You might not leave that scathing review. And you might purchase something in the menus to make yourself feel better now that you've had a victory.
I think I'm with you. I think I like that design. I think it's kind of ingenious. If maybe a little evil ingenious, but I think it's ingenious.
But if you go high up, the thing I'm seeing right now, and again, this is all like hearsay, we're all figuring out. There's several tricks you can play, like the bots will never friend you back. They don't have any stickers on their icons, so they might have different pictures or outfits. There's some tricks you can pull to kind of look around after the game to see if they were bots. But as you get in the highest echelons of the MMR and the rank, the bots go away. That you simply don't see them anymore. And this avoids those extremes like Heroes has of MMR hell and bronze, where you just lose forever. And you have no matches that it can give you anymore. Or your point move is so small because you've buried yourself in there. The bots will keep you sustained at a base bronze 5 level, as it were.
That's cool. Dude, I think that's good design. I think it's cool.
In a 10-minute game, yes, where it is more simple, like Here's the Storm, first of all, would have to have amazing AI. Like we're talking that, what's the deep mind?
Deep mind.
Like it would have to be really intense in order to even pretend. But in a 10-minute game where they can surrender at the 5-minute mark, it's not going to get so egregious that you're going to notice or really care. And you'll be on to the next game with real people before you know it.
Well, I've been enjoying it. It's, I wasn't expecting to have like a scoring points thing. I went in completely like knowing nothing about it other than it was out. I hadn't read anything, listened to anything. I was just like, I like Pokemon. I like MOBAs. Let's see what it's all about. And like going in and being like, oh, you like collect balls, and then you do like a slam dunk in a friggin' ring, and you get points. And the thing that drives me crazy is that I can't see points in the middle of the game.
Right, you can't infer the score.
That is
based on the state of the towers.
Yeah, but even then, like that's a lot of math to do in your head.
I'd say again on purpose because at a 10-minute game, nobody wants to play 2-minute game after 2-minute game because everybody's surrendering.
That's fair.
Hiding the score keeps people going to the end because there's kind of that blue shell, that lightning last place sort of augment of Zapdos in the middle of the screen, which is also being argued in the higher echelons of the game. But we don't know. We don't know what the patch cadence is right now. Nintendo has always been very bad about esports, and they've always been rather bad about patches. But this is Tencent, who also runs things like Wild Rift for League of Legends.
Yeah, which is mobile LOL, right? I'm not a big league.
Yes.
I'm not league literate. Is not what I would be accused of being. But it's a good game. I've gotten really hooked on Pikachu.
Sure, he's great damage. He won't shut up, but yeah, he's great damage.
Yeah. Everyone else just like makes noises and shit, and I got to listen to Pikachu go Pika like over and over again.
It was a bit much for me.
Yeah, I would not mind the Pokemon all just making their old Game Boy noises after playing Pikachu.
I see why they did it with Pikachu, though. They sent out a survey, and one of the questions was, "Why do you play this?" And one of the options was, "Because I like Pikachu."
I actually am one of those weirdos that prefers Raichu, so I'm a little bummed that Pikachu doesn't evolve.
We're both sitting here in black shirts today. We're the evil characters, and
There was
Raichu is the evil option.
Raichu's not evil, not inherently.
Only awful people upgrade their Pikachu. That was canon in the show.
In the show, it was one person. It was Lieutenant Surge, and there was the whole thing with Ash not like choosing not to evolve Pikachu. When I played in my Game Boy, loved all my Pokemon equally, but I evolved the shit out of my Pikachu. My Raichu was my buddy.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying that Gengar. That was one of my buddies in my old team.
Oh, yeah, I always had a Gengar.
Yep, Gengar, Blastoise, and I had like an Alakazam and stuff like that. You know, me too. But I often ran a Beedrill, and I loved my Beedrill.
I always went Squirtle, unless I was doing like. Eventually, I picked up. No, it wasn't until I got the Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance, I got green, and then I would like borrow a friend's Game Boy and trade the starters so I could have all 3 starters. But like OG playing red, went Squirtle, so I had a Blastoise. I think I had a Raichu. I think I ran a Raichu in my 6. Blastoise. I didn't min-max this shit. I was a kid. I wasn't reading up on anything. Blastoise.
Oh, totally. I
Raichu.
knew natural Pokemon were better. You had to level them because the rare candies didn't give them the right stats.
Yeah, Blastoise was my only natural max level. Everyone else, I think, I had used at least a few rare candies on. Gengar eventually got replaced by Mewtwo because I freaking love Mewtwo.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I really like Mewtwo. Had ran Articuno, was the only legendary bird I ran because the freeze effects were just so good.
My first playthrough, a kid on the bus traded me a level 56 Rhydon, I want to say, the rhino from the safari area.
Yep. Yeah, I know Rhino.
For my Squirtle, because he said it was better.
Oh, and you believed him.
I believed him. And then, of course, he didn't listen to me because I didn't have the badges to command this Rhydon. And I had to quit and restart the game.
You poor thing.
I know. I was had. Granted, I also had other, he taught me how to have kids, and then I had other kids. So, we all were a little savage in middle school.
Yeah, while playing the card game, like OG, back when there was only one, we hadn't even gotten our first expansion in the States yet, I traded a Charizard for a massive, I traded it for a massive collection. I got this whole kid's collection, but I was mostly in it because he had a ton of, he had everything water, and I loved water Pokemon. And it was not worth it, Kyle. Do not trade an OG Charizard for an entire collection. It's not worth it.
Dude, wait, where are we talking Pokemon cards?
We're talking Pokemon cards. Yeah, I had a Charizard.
Oh my God, you got rid of a first edition Charizard.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I never could get one. I've got so many damn Jadpoles, whatever they're called, the Hypno Toads. I opened a lot of packs looking for a Charizard and never got one.
Yeah, it wasn't hollow, but yeah, I had a Charizard. I'm trying to remember. I think I somehow traded it. I don't think I would have exploded if I opened a Charizard.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I traded a ton of. I think I traded my whole hollow collection. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Full disclosure there. I never did the Pokemon swap thing to get anyone bad, but I still feel really bad. There was a kid down the street. I traded him a Drowsy and a Wartortle for his Blastoise.
Yep.
Literally gave him the lower version of Blastoise and a Drowsy for his Blastoise.
Learning a lot about our strength of character today.
I really wanted it. And he was accepting the deal. And I was like, I feel bad about that still to this day.
God. I can still I can still imagine the odor of the Books A Million on Saturday because that's where I'd go and play Pokemon. Every Saturday morning. They'd have a Pokemon card game group. That's how I got into it. We thought it was for the game. So I showed up one day with my Game Boy and everyone was just playing cards. And I was like, what the hell is this? What is this? It's before we had internet. It wasn't before the internet. It was before we had internet. And yeah.
What a weird phenomenon. Because for me, it was an advertisement in Nintendo Power of a vacuum with an R on it sucking up small animals. And for some reason, my brain went, I must own this thing. This will be the greatest game of all time. And it was amazing, and I loved it. But I saw that ad, and my brain was just like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't into it at first. I remember the commercial for the Game Boy game in the States where the Pokemon were getting on a bus. It's like animated Pokemon getting on a live action bus.
Right.
The bus driver was like, closes the door and laughs maniacally because he caught them all. Caught them on the bus. What a weird idea for a commercial. But and I remember being like, what the hell is a Pokemon? Like Pikachu gets on and he says Pikachu. I was just like, I don't get why anyone cares about this. And then I think I borrowed my buddy's Game Boy and just like played a bit. And it was just like this. It consumed me. And then I was begging my parents for a Game Boy because I didn't have one. And I was doing like my first big like road trip with a class. We did a sea camp thing, which is like space camp, but in Florida. And you go to the Florida Keys and you learn about marine biology. Oh, and that was coming up. And that was like the first time ever my parents said like, we're going to boot me out the door. And I never did camps growing up. I was always home. And so right around the time Pokemon came out was when that came out. And it was finally broke my parents down. They're like, all right, finally, we'll get you a Game Boy. You can bring it on your trip and entertain yourself. And that was the first game I ever remember having an hours counter. and I want to say, I think I had I remember at one point we all brought our saves up, and now it seems like small potatoes after something like World of Warcraft. But I remember I think I had 36 hours, and everyone was like, "Holy shit, Garrett, you play a lot of Pokemon." It was so much higher than everyone else's. Yeah. It's different times. Anyway, Unite is a good game. I would recommend it.
It's very enjoyable, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of Pokemon into the future, and I'm just excited to see what they do with it. They've got some multiple maps. They've got kind of an ARAM sort of style map over on the Quick Play. They might circle out maps and all that stuff. So we're waiting to see over on that show kind of what tone and what sort of rhythm they set. But for now, just new Pokemon releasing on a Wednesday. That's pretty hot.
Every Wednesday?
Might be. Who knows?
Okay.
We know that some, we saw them in the tutorial, like the War Turtle. So there might be stuff coming out pretty quickly.
I don't know. I haven't read up anything, man. I think I took a brief look at a tier list because at the beginning you get a choice of who you look at. I'm like, all right, well, who completely doesn't suck? And everything was like, Pikachu's pretty good. I'm like, whatever. I like Pikachu enough. I'll go Pikachu. That was it. That was the only time I read anything. So
it's nice, isn't it, to not be so in the know when you play a game.
It's really there's so much about the game that is relaxing outside of the menu system. The game length, the fact that I'm playing it on a console, like you said. Once I figured out it's a little more awkward on other heroes, on other Pokemon, that I could just hold the auto attack button down and it would just keep firing. I was like, oh, that's wonderful. How relaxing is that? I just keep them in. Because with Pikachu, it's I just try and keep people at max range. And if I'm just holding down the button, not only can I always see my radius for the auto attack, it's firing off automatically. That's just so. I was so relaxed, man, playing my. I did a 3-hour stint the first time I played it. I was just not a care in the world. It was great.
There's also tons of options. You can set it so your A button only attacks enemy Pokemon, and your B button will attack nearby wild Pokemon. So if you want to steal a last hit in the jungle there, you can do that without having to worry about the targeting system turning on.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been taking advantage of that system.
Sounds like I should listen to AO's Playhouse. Clubhouse? AO's Clubhouse,
yes. AO's Clubhouse. Yeah, you should. No, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying it immensely. Outside of that, I bought the battle pass for the most recent Magic the Gathering Arena set.
Oh, shit!
Is, of course, the Magic the Gathering set.
Okay, all right, buddy. I've been missing Magic. I've been kind of feeling the pull again.
This is the set to do it, man. Forgotten Realms. It's a full D&D based set.
Had I not just guessed it on a wonderful live play, role play podcast. Maybe you've heard of it. That probably wouldn't land too hard for me, but it's very fresh in my memory, and I had a lot of fun doing that. So
it's pretty creative too. I mean, granted, of course, they own the license. What took you so long? Congratulations on finally throwing the switch on what we all wanted forever. But it is, a straight up D&D set. There's, monsters you might know, like flumps and beholders, tons of dragons, but they also did items like the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna that combined with the Book of Vile Darkness to create an, indestructible 8/8. It's I'm always about theme. I loved Innistrad. I hate the guild stuff.
Oh, I like guild stuff.
I don't like the multicolored so much. To me, multicolored to me in Magic the Gathering is your problem with the menus in Pokemon Unite. Like, I'm like, you bastards, you're just trying to make me buy more cards. You always want my decks to be multicolored. You're a monster. And of course, you do multicolored decks because they're so powerful. Like you're missing too much by doing a monocolored for the most part. You just have too many weaknesses. But I hate that they want me to do it, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you totally should mix this monocolored in your multicolored deck." I'm like, you just want my money. You monsters.
Well, I did start playing right before Gate Crash. I was very, very late to Magic. So, and Gate Crash, it was nothing but guilds, man. So that's just kind of the devil I know. I like Boros and Orzhov, by the way.
I don't know what those mean.
Red,
I know
white,
that,
and black, white.
okay, and people still use those to sum up the colors because they also refer to blue as L. I've got a Magic the Gathering, master's rank or whatever it's called up there, legend maybe, I'm not sure. I've got a friend who's super into it, and he's always texting me his combinations, and I gotta like go do forensics and figure it out. And I'm like, oh my god, what's going on here?
I really liked the theming of. I like the theming of both because I love like super dark, but I also love like super justice. I like both in fantasy quite a lot. I love necromancers. I love paladins. And so Boros is kind of like Legion paladin theming, like lots of little knights and dudes. And then Orzhov is just like kind of like dark with like this weird kind of creepy bend on, religious iconography and stuff.
Okay. I mean, that still exists. A lot of people are playing what's called a new setting in the game called 2022 Standard, because one of the old sets is so damn powerful that none of these new cards matter in Standard, because Standard kind of spans a whole double block year.
Yeah. We got a question from the chat room that I do find kind of interesting. And I'm coming to an end here. I have a meeting here in about 10.
Okay.
But Imbuement wants to know if we see an esports scene developing for Nintendo. And I'm going to throw it to you because I've been wondering that as well. And you've got your finger more on the Unite Pulse than I do.
So right now there's no custom lobbies. I believe Reddit did a tournament in the sort of, Mythic Invitational style, if you will, or the way they used to do the Apex things when that game first started out.
Like a Twitch Rivals.
Right. So you play the game, and whoever gets the most points over X amount of time is the winner, and whoever wins the most. So right now there's no custom rooms, but people are very, very hungry for that. Nintendo naturally is not very favorable in the sort of custom make your own tournament department. So we'll see. They definitely did it in the trailer, the announcement trailer. They had a 5-on-5 game. Any sort of casting that's going on for these games is, of course, just taking multiple Twitch screens and
smashing them together
between them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure. I have zero trust in Nintendo to handle anything competitive well. Like they're so bad at it. They seem to be actively against it in some cases. But I sure hope they do. The game is good enough. Like originally, I don't know. Like when I heard about it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'd probably play that, but it's Nintendo. Like it'll probably be kind of simple, and they won't have a competitive system, and they also won't like foster a competitive scene. But I wasn't too bummed out because I'm like, oh well, the game will probably be simplistic. But now I played the game, I'm like, it's not. It's deep. There's a lot to it, and it would be really interesting to have high level competition in this game. It's a shame. Part of me is like, well, it's Pokemon. I think they want it to be accessible for everyone. And with esports comes kind of the sucking of all joy out of the room.
Sure.
A lot of times with extreme tryhards. But also, while Pokemon may be at face value aimed at kids, I'm 34 and I grew up with it. So
Also, those blocks of text are really big. If I was a kid, I would not know what I'm doing, nor would I be pulling off this Sludge Bomb Hex Gengar combo.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That was the other thing that like blew my mind when I was reading through the abilities. I was like, holy shit, this is the longest magic card I've ever seen. Like they're going for it. So yeah, like I said, I was kind of talking I was writing off a competitive scene and also kind of just not letting myself get hyped up for it. Just kind of thinking like, it's a Pokemon game. They're probably not going to go too deep with it. But now that I played it, yeah, I'd love to see a competitive scene for this game. I don't have a lot of personal hope to send anyone's way because it's Nintendo and I don't trust them when it comes to anything online. But yeah.
The connection is really good though. Like,
it's fantastic.
I did buy a USB to Ethernet cord, I think is what you would call it, so that I can plug my Switch directly into the internet. But honestly, on Wi-Fi, I've had no issues.
No, neither have I. The Switch has an amazing Wi-Fi receptor. I've had no problems with it. Sony, like historically, has always had the worst. Just the worst, like Wi-Fi pickup for me. Xbox is fine. Switch is fine. Sony gets the one hardwire cord in my living room. My PlayStation. I don't know what the problem is. Although I haven't really tested the PS5. I bet it's better. It's got to be better, right? Better be. From what a pain in the ass it was to get that thing.
I'm sure. I'd love to hear that story. I want to tell you about Village. We beat Village at some point, the Resident Evil game, but let's end it there. Get you to your meeting.
Yeah. It's for that damn class.
Oh, nice.
We're in our final project. Kyle, would you like to try and coordinate a 7-person final project team?
Oh, and digitally too.
Yeah. No,
that sounds awful.
The answer is no. It is awful. It is. My team's really cool. Everyone's really chill, and we're all trying to keep each other calm because I think we're all collectively freaking out because it's so hard to coordinate. But yeah, that's going back to school for you. Don't know what I was thinking. Guess I was thinking I always wanted a master's. Felt like why not, right?
I'll send you my deck list for the skeletal swarming deck, by the way.
Please
you gotta try this.
Please do. Dude, it would not take a lot to get me back into Magic. Just time. But I'm about, once this final is over, dude, I'm going to have so much time on my hands. I'm going to go crazy. So anyways, dude, thanks for, I think it was nice to just shoot the shit.
I agree.
This was a long week. I've been trying very hard not to make it about me, but I am exhausted. So this was nice. I hope everyone enjoyed our complete ramble of a session here.
Sure. I don't think we even did a proper start for it, and all the better because it was
cold
much
open.
Needed.
They call that a cold open, Kyle. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Garrett Art, Kyle at Kyle Fergusson. Make sure you go subscribe to AO's Clubhouse. We'll see you next week for Return to Form on Into the Nexus.